Hey, because everyone has been asking for it, I decided to make my own tier list of live-action superhero movies. I'm not making my own custom tier list, I'm just going to use this one I found. So let's see how it goes. So I sped up the footage for your convenience. Once the tier list is ordered, I talk about the shows and what I liked about them or disliked about them, so you can skip ahead till then if you want. Figured it wasn't especially fun to listen to me silently struggle to order a list. Instead, I'll talk a little bit about the MCU TV shows. I think most of them are pretty mediocre, with the best one being Loki and the worst one being Miss Marvel. Loki is at least, interesting, fun characters, fun new concepts are showing up. Whereas Miss Marvel is just has bad superhero stuff. Like the superhero stuff in Miss Marvel is bad, and they're really concerned with, trying to show me Pakistani culture, which is all great and all, but I've signed up for a superhero show, so if the superheroing is no good, what's the point? And then, like I said, the rest of them kind of whatever. WandaVision, whatever. What If, decent. Moon Knight, okay. Falcon and Winter Soldier, fine. Hawkeye, unoffensive. Yeah, that's it. Back to your regularly scheduled tier list making. I'm going to ignore all these movies. I haven't seen this one. These I'd probably put in all not worth watching, and I don't know what this is. But this is my current list. Put the Multiverse of Madness in S tier, probably back here. I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the visuals. I enjoyed that magic was like them summoning demons and things. I enjoyed that Sam Raimi brought like a comedic horror thing and a very clear, amusing vision to a Marvel project. It was really good. That's why Multiverse of Madness I put in S tier. Avengers Endgame and Infinity War together combined is like the culmination of like 40 movies, and it does a pretty good job, especially Infinity War for a movie with a fuck ton of characters that need to share screen time. It doesn't feel bloated or that like you're just jumping around over and over again and you don't understand anything. It really works. Batman The Dark Knight, obviously pretty good stuff. Heath Ledger has a great performance, iconic performance, and it's just an overall entertaining movie. James Gunn did a great job on the Suicide Squad 2, really fucking fixed the shit that was the Suicide Squad 1. Barely tried as a movie. It was just a dark, gray, bland movie that nothing mattered. Suicide Squad 2 brings comedy and cool action and cool sights and color to like a DC movie, and it works out. It even creates a pretty funny spin-off show in the Peacemaker show, because John Cena does a surprisingly good job. It even fixes a little bit the last movie by having a couple of the same characters appear in a better movie. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, probably one of the better Marvel normal outputs, like single character outputs, despite this still being about like three Marvel characters, three of their main characters. As a standalone movie, this is still one of the better ones. It's just like a decent, basic action spy plot movie. Just done well with characters we like and cool action, so how can you hate that? Aquaman, terrible acting. Jason Momoa can't act, but he does look good in his suit, and they just have him stand around posing for the most part. And I would say in general, acting is kind of bad, and the stories are kind of dumb, but just the cinematography and events that happen is just cool on average, or epic. Like there's the scene where they're fighting lobsters in the brine, under the sea, and it's just like such a crazy war scene, and you see it and you understand it, and it doesn't just look like noise. This movie also has beautiful scenes because it's underwater, so they have these beautiful underwater environments, as well as like you're on these colorful environments of island nations, possibly Greek, I don't remember what the fuck they were. And yeah, the action direction was great. You saw everything. Sometimes they went to places like the trench where you had this became like a more horror thing, and that came with fucking cool visuals. So, James Wan, another good job. Good job elevating this mediocre character in what should have been a mediocre movie. Watchmen, one of Zack Snyder's probably last good projects in my opinion. Did a very good job adapting the comic book. It's a comic book that's really good and hard to adapt, and I don't really know if anyone could have done a better job than what we received in this movie, and I give credit to that. His opening sequence, iconic a way of giving the information from the comic book, like the setting the backstory. Great stuff, Zack Snyder on this. It's a shame he sucks pretty much post this. Over here we have the Batman with Bane. Probably not an amazing movie. I love the way Bane talks so much that the movie was so entertaining that it has to be somewhere up here. Plus, you know, it has the general quality that we're used to from Christopher Nolan. So, B tier it is. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Funny movie. Did a good job introducing characters that no one really knows about or cares about into a heartfelt movie. A heartfelt movie that has some good action and some good comedy. As far as Marvel movies go, it's still pretty standard for a team-up movie. It's just done well. I think this is another James Gunn project, and that's the reason why. Logan, we get gritty. We get gritty with fucking Logan, making it a Western, making Wolverine half decent again, because, you know, Wolverine keeps having terrible movies, but Hugh Jackman finally gets him, sent him off in a great one. Logan is violent. The story probably still doesn't make any sense, and it's probably dumb, but we got cool violence and a heartfelt goodbye to a character and a guy we love playing the character. So, B tier it is. Avengers, First Avengers, good movie. You know, finally bringing together the MCU as we know it today. It's a basic movie, but it does its job well. You know, the movie plot is the title. It's the Avengers assembling. That is the plot. They assemble, they fight some bad guys, the movie ends, and we all walk away happy. B tier. This is the last Spider-Man movie that came out where it's all the previous Spider-Mans. This, I would say, fucking what the Tom Holland Spider-Man, his movies are, I don't know, something about them feels just bland or like forgettable. Like after the movie ends, you don't remember nothing from them. And then this movie came along. Actually, I'm going to move it. Maybe I'm going to move it? Yeah, I'm going to move it. No, I'll leave it there. And then I'd say the earlier Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi ones, the first ones, have iconic moments in them. Or either iconic lines that are still memed today, or iconic scenes, like when Peter Parker stops the train scene, or like every scene Dr. Octopus is in. Very iconic. The Tom Holland Spider-Mans, however, have like no iconic scenes. They're very forgettable movies. You're not upset by the end of the movie, but then like 2 days later, you don't remember anything that's happened in any of the movies. The best thing about Spider-Man No Way Home is that it copies Sam Raimi's style. Other than that, it's a movie that barely stands on its own. Like you have to have watched like 5 other Spider-Man movies for it to make any sense. But if you have, it's a good culmination of some of those movies, as well as a good ending for the Amazing Spider-Man series, which was kind of a shit series. This kind of gets a redemption in No Way Home, so that's nice. Over here, I put the 2 Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. I'm actually gonna put the Spider-Man 2 above Spider-Man 1. I think that for me, it was just more iconic, in general. How good it was. Hey, how come this list doesn't have Blade on it? That's fucked up that this list doesn't have Blade. Blade, B tier. It'd be right here. Blade would be right here. Or even before Spider-Man 1. Fucked up they didn't put Blade on this list. That's fucked up, guys. But, sorry, Spider-Man 2, solid stuff. Like I said, every moment of Dr. Octopus is just iconic. All the scenes of him and Spider-Man having to do tango, iconic. Great stuff. Spider-Man 1, we have the Green Goblin with his great performance. And this is one of the first superhero movies that makes everyone want to watch superhero movies. You have Sam Raimi's fun style. I'm actually going to maybe move it. Maybe it's a C tier movie. Let's put the top of C tier. But I do enjoy this movie. I just maybe it doesn't belong in B tier. The latest Batman, great Batman movie for a lot of people. It's going to be the first Batman movie where they really see Batman play the role of a detective. For me, I read comics, so I get that Batman a lot, but they did it well. It's a 3-hour movie. Didn't feel like it was a 3-hour movie. It feels like the time was mostly used. I'd say the main problem with this Batman movie is that it's a pretty emo Batman, a pretty like goth Batman. At one point, he turns to Alfred and goes, "You're not my father." And I'm like, dude, you're an adult. Grow the fuck up. What? Yeah, if he's not your father, and if he was, you're fucking like 22 or 30 or some shit. Like, stop that. Just stop that. But still not bad. Still pretty decent. C tier. We got, you know, which Avengers is this again? The first one? No. The second one? Yeah, the one with all the robots? It's a little bit bland, but you do get a lot of cool scenes, so I can put it in C tier. Same thing with Civil War. I'll put Civil War actually a little above it. A little bland, but you still get a lot of good stuff. Deadpool's fine. I think the comedy wears thin pretty quickly since it's the same thing over and over again, non-stop, every single second of the whole movie. Ant-Man has some good scenes, like the final fight scene in the child's room, and they're all tiny, so all the toys look huge. Batman has Jim Carrey. Great action. Great acting and faces, and same thing with Two-Face, and just an overall silly but enjoyable movie. Batman Begins, I was never crazy about, but it is the start of a good gritty Batman universe. Doctor Strange, a little bit better than the bland Marvel output because it has great visuals, a lot of kaleidoscoping cool stuff going on, so at least it's nice to look at. Wonder Woman was the best DC movie in my opinion until Aquaman came out. Wonder Woman finally takes superheroes seriously. A lot of these other superhero movies were cheeky in the DC realm, or like tried to distance themselves away from superheroing, or trying to make them too real or too gritty and stuff like that. Wonder Woman takes its plot serious, takes Wonder Woman seriously. It shows her doing cool stuff, has her being cool, shows her, you know, just being a decent character, and only really fumbles a little bit. Deadman 2 is really just more Deadman. Deadpool 2 is really just more Deadman 1. Deadman, I keep calling it Deadman. Deadpool 2 is really just more Deadpool 1, so it's fine. Spider-Man Far From Home is fine. Same thing with the first of these Tom Holland Spider-Mans. Like I said, they're just like I said earlier, they're just a little bit bland overall. This First Class X-Men movie was okay for a new starting point for the X-Men, though it never really goes anywhere. The Joker's fine. I was surprised people went as crazy about it in both directions as they end up doing, but that's just people for you. Gotta be extremes. X-Men 2 and X-Men 1, also half-decent movies. There's, at this point in movies, they're still a bit ashamed of being superheroes and color in movies, but they still work out and introduce these characters in solid outputs for movies. The Iron Man 1, superhero movies are starting to get, you know, a little bit more traction, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more money put into them. Good start in Iron Man 1 for that kind of thing. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's fine. It's like it's the same as like Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It's just like more emphasis on comedy and trying to be heartfelt, and that heartfelt stuff just doesn't work for me. I just kind of get annoyed and bored about it. But it's alright. And then from here we end up in like what I call the bland movies. Or is that even true? A lot of the bland movies are the origin movies. That's what I find. You get Shang-Chi. It's fine. It's bland. You get some martial arts though, so that's nice. You get Black Panther. It's bland. You got black people in it, so that's nice. You get Ragnarok. They finally give up on Thor being a unique character and just change him into the same as every other character, and for some reason they also make the Hulk like a little baby boy, and then they also ruin the Planet War Hulk storyline from the comics, so we won't ever get a good version of that. So maybe I'm gonna rank this lower after fucking saying all that shit about it. Boom, get over here. Had some cool scenes though. You know, what's her face did a good job as Hela, or Hel, just Hel, is that her name? Whatever. Hela, and had some cool scenes of her stuff. This one of Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, is fine. Just fine. I have nothing great to say about it, nothing completely negative to say about it. Eternals, nobody cares about the Eternals, so this fucking dark gray movie just comes off bland. Also, the villain, like, there's a big monster that has no point in it, and I don't really understand his inclusion, but here it is. Shazam, it's fine. Fine. This is like I'm talking about. Now we get back into like bland origins. It's fine. Captain Marvel. It's fine. People that were hating on it only hate on it because it's a girl, but it's fucking no different than fucking Thor. It's fine. He shows up. They explain who Thor is. He fights a fucking random villain. It ends. X-Men. I don't remember which X-Men this is. Probably the last one. No, this is Days of Future Past. It's fine. This is when they're trying to fucking make sense of all the timelines in the X-Men universe. They don't really succeed, so I mean, they succeed in making a half-decent movie. They just don't really succeed in fixing the timeline, because that's just how fucked up the timeline became. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is okay. You know, we have what's-his-name as Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker. I think Andrew Garfield does an okay Peter Parker, though not. He doesn't really play a nerdy Peter Parker, which I think is a bit of a shame, because I think being a nerd is a big part of Peter Parker's character. Like him having that nerd experience and like social experience and fucking bullies and things, I think is an important part of his character. And you know, the Lizard was okay, but it kind of comes off as like a bland origin story. And everyone knows fucking Spider-Man's origin story by now. When you have his uncle, instead of saying great power comes with great responsibility, trying to say something like, you know, when you have power, you have you have to be doing stuff to do it. You're like, just say the fucking iconic line at that point, or don't even include these scenes. We know how Spider-Man became a Spider-Man, and that's why fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't even show that intro. He just gets Spider-Man one day. He just shows up, and he's in the movies now. That was probably the right way to do it. Birds of Prey, fine. A little bit disjointed as a movie, but more or less fine. This Venom movie, kind of bad to be honest, but they have Venom doing cool stuff, and that kind of saves the movie into being a meh movie, saves it into being a watchable movie. Else every line is bad. It's a very stupid movie. I'm pretty sure the movie knows it's stupid either, because some lines are so stupid, you know, like Venom going, "On my planet, I was a loser." It's like, okay, so yeah, so the makers of this movie also know that this is just a joke movie. Okay, whatever. Man of Steel, bland but boring. Captain America, the first Avenger, kinda, it's not really bland. There's things happening in this movie. I just didn't enjoy them. I didn't enjoy this moment when he was like a propaganda machine for his country, because it was boring. I don't want to see him singing and show timing. I want to see Captain America fucking punch some dude in the face. Else I don't give a fuck about Captain America and his stupid shield. And then I already talked about Ragnarok. Then D tier, we just have bad movies. D tier and F tier, I feel like aren't really divisive, my picks. You know, especially my F tier movies. No one thinks these are fucking good movies, and if you, okay, maybe some people think this Justice League movie is a good movie, but they're wrong. I don't need to shoot it back there. I'll put it over here. Yeah, so maybe people think this is a divisive thing or controversial pick, but it's not. These are all terrible movies. I think this Venom is especially bad because now you don't even have Venom doing cool stuff. You have neither of them doing cool stuff. It's just everything is shot off screen. And Woody Harrelson is just a terrible Cletus Cassidy choice. Awful choice. Yeah, the rest of these definitely deserve to be here. Anything worth talking about in D tier? Amazing Spider-Man 2 fucking dubstep fight, hilarious. That's this one. This is the first. This is Spider-Man 3. If the first version of Venom, Topher Grace, terrible movie, overstuffed and just terrible Venom. Yeah, a lot of these movies just don't deserve to be defended, or don't need to be. I feel like I don't need to defend why I put them in here. Ant-Man 2, terrible. I already talked about it. Yeah, so that's it. That's my tier list making. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I don't actually know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making this all up. So I guess leave a suggestion. Leave a like if you want. Peace.